Partnership is a form of business where there are two or more people sharing ownership, as well as managing the income or losses the business generates and responsibility for managing the company.
Distinction between a company and partnership. Company has separate legal entity with limited to max of 50 shareholders, while partnership owned by two or more individuals. Company registered with the SSM under the Companies Act 2016, while it's not compulsory for partnership. The cost start up by company is high, while partnership is low. Company has limited liability, while partnership has unlimited upon members.
A limited liability company Sendirian Berhad is a separate legal entity from its owner, which means that the company is considered a person who can buy or sell property present in a legal contract suit or be sued in court. Examples of private companies are like Big Apple Donut and Coffee, Hornbill Skyway, Secure Recipe, and more. This type of entity allows an entrepreneur to keep their finances and assets separate from the business. This means that the people who has invested in the business, the shareholder, are only responsible for the debt of the company to the extent that they has invested and no longer. Thus, this type of entity is the great way for our companies to make an investment without risking personal wealth.
Yes, according to Section 25 Subsection 1b of Company Act 2016, the names of a private company shall end with the word Sendirian Berhad. However, the power to determine the names of company depends on the registrar as we mentioned in Section 26 Subsection 2 of Company Act 2016. In Malaysia, Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia is the registrar of company. A business can be registered by using personal name and trade name. Personal name is when the business using personal name as stated in the identity card, while trade name is the proposed business name and must approval from the registrar of business.
Here are the steps which must be taken in order for a company to be formed. First, hold a meeting of all partners of partnership firm because the liability of the company member is limitless. If a firm wishes to file as limited company, the majority consent is required. There should be no less than 3/4 of the partner in person. Second, assent from secure creditors of firm. Additionally, written assent or no objection certificate is to be acquired from the secure creditor of the firm. Third, getting the name approval in run for proposed company. Run or reserve unique name facilities is a service offered by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs (MCA) to simplify and speed up the company name approval process. 4. Distributing the advertisement in 2 newspapers. Looking for complaint. If any inside 21 Sunday morning from the date of expiration of notice. 5 is file an affidavit duly notarized from every one of the accomplices to give that in case of renewable essential achieved or paper will be submitted to the power with which the firm was before enlisted for its dissolutions as partnership firm consequence to its conversions into a private limited company.
The nature and essential content of company's constitution. Company's constitution is a legal document which is MOA and AOA under Company Act 2016. To adopt this constitution, company need to refer Company Act 2016 Section 32(1), which is define a company may adopt a constitution for the company and adoption shall be by way of special resolution. For limited company must have constitution. The contents of company's constitution must have subject to the provision of this act, which is in section 35(1)(a) define the objects of the company, its needs, in Section 25(1)(b) define if the provisions restrict such capacity rights, power of privileges.
For the effect of its cooperation is separate legal personality. A company which has been established may become an individual by having a separate legal personality of its own. According to Company Act 2016, separate entity, Section 20A, have legal personality separate from that of its member. Next is it has perpetual succession after the register. The company will live forever even all member in company is die. According to Company Act 2016, Section 20B, continue in existence until it removed from the register. After that, it may own land or property. It means that a company has the ability to hold property on its own. According to Section 21(1)(b) of the Company Act 2016, a company has the ability to hold the land.
For corporate debts issued for shareholders, they may be referenced to under Section 75, Section 5 of Company Act 2060 that any director who knowingly contravenes of permit or authorize the conservation of or fail to take all reasonable steps to prevent the conservation of this section with respect to any issue of share commit an offence and shall be liable to compensate the company and the person to whom the share were issued for any loss, damage or cost which the company or that person may have sustained or incurred.
For the recommendation, I suggest to enter the company. In addition, you must acknowledge the relevant procedure to be followed and the steps of forming company. Thus, all responsibility is equally divided according to their power, position, and execution right. In the legal point of view, each of the members are bound to the contract of company since the company has formed. As company policymaker, we must acknowledge the relevant procedure to be followed and the steps of forming company. Firstly, find the distinction of your current business is company or partnership. Secondly, vote accord to majority of the type of company to be formed. Thirdly, knowing the restriction of company name to be registered. Fourth, refer to legal representative to check out all the relevant procedure to form a company. Fifth, check out the nature and essential content of a company's institution, objects of the company, capacity of shareholders and members, power and liability. Sixth, effect of its incorporation. Seventh, the extent to which a shareholder can be liable for the debts of a company. As all, the company is prepared to be formed.